Hey guys, tired as a mother is a good description of my life right now. I am a college student full time. I am a student journalist at the Eastern Progress at Eastern Kentucky University, and I'm a mom of two toddlers and a wife. You may have seen my column, Tired as a Mother, featured in the Bridge student newspaper at Somerset Community College. Now I am continuing that series that won an award at the Kentucky Press Association, and I am so excited to share a little bit about my life and some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, being a mom, being a student, and just facing some challenges. And when I first started school, I didn't really have the resources to learn kind of the tricks to make this transition in this crazy season in my life bearable, or I had to learn as I went. So I want to share that because that would have been a great resource. I am a journalist, so I'm always looking for information. You know, people do things, and I look for that information because you can learn from others. I think that's really important in people's lives. So I just want to be that resource to my listeners and to my readers. You can find me on Instagram at blondiebuns, BLONDIBUNS. And so I'm going to dive in a little bit and give you background. There is one article you can check out. It was the first article in the Eastern Progress series of Tired as a Mother, but I'll give you a little bit of background. I went to community college for a few years. I started in 2012, I believe, and I kind of went in and out of school, not really knowing what I wanted to do. I met my husband in college at the community college, and I was a waitress. And there for a while, I kind of lost my drive to really keep going because I didn't really have a goal in mind. So I dropped out of school. Me and my husband had our first child. I was working as a waitress, and financially it was stable in a way, but the environment was so toxic. And I come to the point that I wanted better for myself, but I didn't know what that was. Then the most wonderful thing happened, as we know, as COVID-19. The pandemic has obviously been tragic, but honestly, it influenced my life in a really positive way because I lost my job during the pandemic, and my husband did as well. So it was a very uncertain time for us, but it gave me the inspiration and the push, so to say, out into this different mindset. And I said, okay, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to be happy and to have kind of the stable job and career. So 2 weeks before school started in August of 2020, I took and started talking to my husband. I said, I really love to write. I had been a student journalist before with the Bridge. I was just a reporter. I volunteered and wrote some columns. And I said, I really want to see if I can do this because I think out of all the things I've explored, because I had almost gotten my associate's degree at that point, I said, I'm just going to see if I can do this. And he was very supportive. And I started going back to school. And at this time, we had two kids. My son, Grayson, currently is 4 years old. And my daughter, Lila, is 2. So it was kind of challenging. But I will say one thing. If any advice I can give you is to have a good tribe. And you hear that all the time. The people in your life really influence you, but reach out for help because I'm sure there are people out there in your life that if you just ask for help, they may be willing. I mean, I think as a mom, it's so important to talk about mom guilt. I feel like sometimes we feel like everything is on our shoulders and we have to be super mom. I mean, mom knows how to do everything. Mom knows best. And of course, no one's going to take care of your kids like you do as a mom. But reach out to your family members. I do my classes 2 days a week on Monday and Wednesdays. My mother-in-law, Rayetta, is so awesome. She watches my kids those 2 days while my husband's at work, and I can spend the entirety of the day really consumed and dwelled in my studies and what I do at the Eastern Progress, and it's so helpful. So that's one thing. moving along through when I first started at the Bridge student newspaper at Somerset Community College, the 2 weeks before school started, I applied for the managing editor position at the Bridge. It was a long shot in my head, but I actually got the position. And when I did it, there was a spark that ignited in me. I decided, I kind of felt like this was my last chance. I was older at the time. I think I was 26 or 27 at the time. And I said, I'm going to give it my all. And if I put everything into this and I don't like it, then I know it's not for me. But if I put everything into this and I love it, then this is my path. So I really indwelled myself in everything, and I fell in love with journalism, and here I am. Here I am today, hoping to put myself into the multimedia aspect of journalism once I graduate, and even now. So pursue your dreams. Like, as a mom, I think sometimes, especially if you're older, I'm 28 now and I'm a senior at Eastern Kentucky University, and everybody's like, wait, you're 28, why are you here? There's always that shock factor, like, wow, you have 2 kids. I'm like, anybody can chase their dreams at any age. And I think we need to get over that stigma that you can only chase your dreams. You graduate high school, you go into college, and you're supposed to know what you want to do with your life. But some people don't have that life experience to really know. I had to have life experience. I had to experience an industry that, I had to realize the hard way that I didn't want to be a part of. So that's my tip for you there. Then I transitioned to the university life. It was quite interesting. It was really overwhelming at first. Again, there was no information out there to take and say, okay, well, this mom's done it. I've seen her journey on Instagram. I've seen her on TikTok, and she's done it. There was none of that. I couldn't find any of that. So I was scared. I come into a university much larger than my community college. I had no clue what to expect. And of course, it was in the middle of a pandemic, so I never got a tour of the campus whatsoever. I got signed up for classes the day classes started. Like, I missed my first days of classes. I had applied like a month before school started, and I kept calling and calling. I'm like, guys, I'm supposed to be in class today, but I don't know where they are. I don't even know if I'm in the right department. I had to call like 5 people, and then finally I got a hold of Dr. Whitehouse at the School of Communication at EKU, and I sent her this email, and she called me almost like immediately, and she was like, I don't know you, but I really feel some stress coming off this email. I'm like, you have no idea. So she got me enrolled in the classes that I needed to, and the next day, I was going to classes on Tuesday and Thursday. So that Thursday, I come to school not knowing where any of my classes are. I parked in the faculty parking and got a ticket my first week of school because I didn't know you had to have a parking ticket. Yeah, small town girl on campus. Had to learn the hard way, but I figured it out. And as I made friends and got, involved at the Eastern Progress, at the time I applied for the social media director position, and I started talking to people. And so another tip for you is, wherever you are in your journey, whether you're first starting out school, maybe at a community college or online, or maybe you're in the middle of your journey, reach out to people, not only in your family and your small group, but communicate. Really experience the college experience, because those people that I talked to and communicated with helped me learn my way around campus and really feel the culture, as I guess you can say, around me. And I felt like I belonged. I wasn't just someone that didn't know my way. I belonged. And I feel really blessed that I found EKU. I'm really involved at EKU. Here at the School of Communication, everything is hands-on experience. And I come in thinking that I was going to be a writer, and I've fallen in love with, I'm doing a podcast now. I never would have thought I had a podcast. And I'm writing, I've filmed, I do photography, and I just love all of it. So really seek that experience at college. I don't know what industry you might be going into or your passion is. I also host a podcast called The Way It's Told about people and their passions, but whatever that passion is, really go for it. It is just because you're older or you have kids does not mean you can't succeed. So we're also going to talk, you kind of know a little bit about my background, what I'm going through. How do I keep my schedule? How do I keep my schedule like in check? I have learned this through trial and error. I started out school without really doing a calendar and just being like trying to remember when things were due. Don't do that. I have a planner and I wish I would have brought it with me today, but I don't have it. But I write down everything in a planner, and one thing that actually Dr. Whitehouse suggested to me, because I'm all about communicating with people and asking people for advice, she's like, get a calendar and write your schedule in it, because I have a busy schedule. I'm a full-time student. I am the assistant news editor at the Eastern Progress. I host a podcast. I write a column. So things get piled up very quickly. She said, get a planner, write it down, and forget about it. Totally get that out of your mind. It's on the planner. Just check your planner every day and take it day by day. I was like, okay. Once I started that, it was transformational in my life because I could focus on the task at hand rather than worrying about all this stuff piling up in my life. So get you a planner. I also have one that goes on my fridge. And if you check out my Instagram at Blondie Buns, I do a short video that shows you that and what it looks like. I have both mine and my husband's schedule on it, so everyone in the family knows what to expect. And that was another thing that Dr. Whitehouse had suggested, because I was really struggling a little bit last semester. And I just said, hey, I was like, do you have any tips? Because I feel very overwhelmed and I love everything I do and I don't want to give any of that up. So really, again, I will always stress, reach out to people, reach out to your professors, because I found some really important people in my life that's inspired me to keep going, not just here at EKU, but at Somerset Community College. I remember I actually was pregnant when I first found out that I was pregnant with my son. I didn't know I was pregnant, and I was at the community college, and I was getting so sick all the time, and I didn't know I was pregnant at the time. But I come back, and I was so scared because I went to my teacher. It was Kelly Barnes. She's a psychology professor at Somerset Community College, and I was like, so sorry I've missed class. I'm pregnant. I had terrible morning sickness, and she's like, you know what, it's okay. She was like, I was pregnant during my my studies, in her master's studies, I believe. Don't quote me on that though. And she was like, just come in when you can, and you can make up your work. And that was really a really good turning point in my mindset, because I said, okay, even though that my life is different than what was first expected, that I can still do this. And I also had Jonna Bigelow. She's a communication professor there. She was also very accommodating to that during that time. And also Jeff Harris, that really said, you know, when I went back to school as a reporter, he was my advisor at the Bridge, and he was so encouraging, saying, you can do this. I'm so proud of you. He's kind of watched me throughout my journey as a student fresh out of high school in those years. So reach out. Don't be afraid that professors aren't going to look at you and be like, one of my fears was that people would expect the same quality work of me as everyone else, and they totally do. But sometimes crap happens, and sometimes I would be late for a deadline because my kids were sick all night, and I just said, okay, I'm gonna have to sleep. This is just gonna have to wait. And I had a lot of anxiety over that at first, but once you stay in communication with your professors, because most of them totally get it. Don't use that as an excuse, but totally get it. So reach out, communicate, and go for it. Like, chase your dreams, because everybody deserves to find happiness. And I think some people are called to do work like I was doing as a waitress, but some people are made for more. I was made for more. I wanted more, and I chased after that, and I have no regrets. Even with the struggles along the way, I will say it has been a messy ride. Some days I got it going on. Some days I feel like I'm going to lose it. But it's worth it. Like, I have my dream, and I think that really just makes me happy, and I want that for others, and I want to be an inspiration for others. So hopefully, if you're still listening, make sure you check out this series at the Eastern Progress, both in article form, now a podcast, which I'm pretty excited about, and check out my Instagram, Blondie Buns. Thank you for checking out Tired as a Mother.